Have you noticed that the moment you really want a specific woman, she somehow becomes distant and hard to get? But as soon as you stop caring so much, suddenly women who barely noticed you start giving you attention? That is not luck. That is not a coincidence. That is the brutal psychology of attachment and detachment playing out in attraction. And right now, if there is a woman you want, a woman you think about too much, a woman you wish would finally come after you, this is exactly the turning point. Either you lose yourself chasing her, or you become the kind of man she cannot ignore because your energy shifts completely. Listen carefully. Women do not fall for the man who is the most available. They fall for the man whose presence has value, and value is never desperate. Value is never clingy. Value is calm, grounded, selective, and subtly detached from the outcome. The uncomfortable truth is this: when you are emotionally attached to a specific result with a woman, you start acting in ways that actively destroy attraction. You text too fast. You explain too much. You overjustify your intentions. You tolerate behavior you do not like. You overinvest your time, your emotions, your attention. You start proving yourself instead of choosing. And the deeper message behind all those behaviors is, you are above me. My life revolves around you. I need you more than you need me. It does not matter what you say out loud. That is what she feels. Detachment is the antidote, but it has to be understood correctly. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is not cruelty. Detachment is not, I will ignore her to hurt her, or I will act uninterested to play games. That is childish manipulation, and it always backfires. True masculine detachment is the ability to desire a woman deeply while being completely at peace with yourself, whether she stays or leaves. It is wanting her without needing her. It is being able to lean in with interest, flirt, connect, invite, and then lean back without anxiety, without chasing, without emotional collapse if things do not go exactly as you imagined. When you master that internal state, you stop chasing women and you start pulling them into your reality. You are not here to collect tricks. You are here to reprogram the way you show up as a man. Women respond far more to your energy than to your words. They pick up your micro-reactions, your timing, your pacing, the rhythm of your attention. When you are anxiously attached, everything in you screams, please choose me. When you are healthily detached, everything in you communicates, I am already chosen by my own life. If you join me, that is welcome. If not, I remain complete. That subtle difference is magnetic. It changes how she experiences every message you send, every silence between you, every interaction. To use detachment to make the woman you want come after you, you need 3 layers working together: internal detachment, behavioral detachment, and strategic detachment. Internal detachment is the psychological foundation. Behavioral detachment is how that inner state expresses itself in your actions. Strategic detachment is how you use time, space, and tension to invite her to invest more and come towards you. If you only copy the behavior without the internal shift, you become cold or passive-aggressive. If you only work on your inner state but act in confusing ways, she will never feel the clear polarity and tension that make her chase. So you need all 3. Start with internal detachment. Internal detachment means that your emotional center does not live in her hands. It lives in you. Right now, if your mood rises and falls based on whether she texts back, if your confidence collapses when she takes long to respond, your center is outside of you. That is attachment. Attachment says, my sense of worth and peace depends on this one specific woman. Detachment says, my sense of worth and peace depends on the way I live, the standards I hold, the mission I pursue, the discipline I embody. You still want her, but your nervous system does not fall apart if she is not present. The first step toward that internal detachment is redefining what interactions with a woman mean to you. Most men step into a conversation with a woman as if they were taking an exam. The unconscious thought is, if she likes me, I am enough. If she rejects me, something is wrong with me. That is the anxious frame. A detached man walks into the same moment with a completely different frame. I am here to see whether this connection fits the man I am becoming. I am evaluating as much as I am being evaluated. You are not auditioning for a role in her life. You are seeing if she fits in yours. That mental shift instantly lowers anxiety. When she cancels, you adjust instead of begging. When she takes time to respond, you do not spiral. When she tests you, you do not overreact, because you are not gripping her as your only source of validation. The second step in internal detachment is breaking the cycle of mental obsession. Every time you replay the same chat looking for hidden meanings, every time you scroll through her social media for the 10th time that day, every time you fantasize instead of living, you are deepening a neurological loop of addiction to uncertainty and hope. The brain gets hooked on maybe. Maybe she will reply. Maybe she will like my post. Maybe she will show up this time. That loop drains your power. Detachment requires reclaiming your focus. That means reducing your digital checking, setting strict moments to look at your messages, and refusing to let your mind orbit around one person for hours. You fill that mental space with your body, your work, your training, your learning, your environment. A man immersed in building his life is naturally less available for obsession. He might think about her, but he does not live inside that thought. The third step in internal detachment is rewriting your deep beliefs about women and scarcity. If you secretly believe there are almost no good women, that you are not attractive enough, that losing this one woman means you will be alone forever, you will cling. You will ignore red flags. You will tolerate bad behavior. You will sacrifice your standards. Detachment grows from a different belief. I am a man in continuous progress. My value increases as I grow. The right woman is drawn to my center, not to my desperation. If this particular woman does not align with that, there are others. That belief is not arrogance. It is realistic self-respect. There are millions of women on this planet. You only need to connect deeply with one at the right time. When you really understand that, your fear of loss decreases and your detachment strengthens. As you build this internal state, your behavior begins to shift even without trying. Your messages become shorter and more intentional. Your voice becomes calmer. You stop filling every silence with jokes or explanations. You stop selling yourself and start simply being yourself. You become comfortable with gaps, with pauses, with not knowing what will happen next. And that is where attraction starts to grow in her mind, because she cannot fully predict you anymore. You are no longer the man ready to jump at every opportunity. You are a man who has a life. Now move into behavioral detachment. This is how your detachment shows up in the real world where she can feel it. Behavioral detachment is not about ignoring her. It is about aligning your actions with the value you claim to have. One of the key elements is balanced investment. When you are attached, your behavior says, I will always invest more than you. You send long messages while she gives short answers. You rearrange your schedule while she cancels at the last minute. You repeatedly propose plans while she rarely confirms anything. Every time you increase your effort while she decreases hers, you train her mind to see you as lower value. Behavioral detachment corrects this pattern. It means you take a step forward, then you observe whether she also steps forward. You initiate sometimes, but you do not force responses. You make an invitation and let it breathe. If she cancels repeatedly or stays vague, you do not push. You withdraw your investment without drama. Another expression of behavioral detachment is your availability. A man who is attached is always available. His schedule is empty when she wants something. He cancels gym, work, sleep, or friends just to keep a small chance of seeing her. He answers every message instantly. He trains her to believe that his time has no structure and no priority. A detached man has a life architecture. His training, his work, his rest, his mission, and his closest relationships create a structure. When she wants to see him, there is space, but not total emptiness. Responding quickly sometimes is fine, but he is not on call emotionally. He is responsive, not reactive. The difference is subtle but powerful. A reactive man feels like a fan. A responsive man feels like a leader. Your communication style also reveals your level of detachment. Manipulative silence, passive-aggressive replies, and guilt-inducing comments reveal emotional weakness, not strength. Healthy detachment sounds clear, direct, and calm. If you do not like how she treats you, you say so once with respect. That does not work for me. If she continues, you stop prioritizing her. If she is warm and interested, you mirror that warmth instead of playing mysterious games. Detachment is not punishing interest. It is simply refusing to nurture what consistently disrespects your standards. When your words and actions reflect that standard, she quickly understands that your attention is meaningful, not guaranteed. Now bring in strategic detachment. Strategic detachment is about the way you use time, space, and tension to allow her to come towards you voluntarily. Attraction thrives on tension. Tension needs two forces, your desire and your self-control. If you remove desire, you become cold and she feels nothing. If you remove self-control, you become needy and she feels suffocated. Detachment lets both exist together. You show desire through eye contact, presence, humor, curiosity, and masculine decisiveness. You show self-control through boundaries, patience, and your ability to walk away from situations that do not match your standards. In the early phase, strategic detachment means you do not rush to fill every gap with more attention. When you meet or start talking, you do not overshare your entire life. You do not send constant messages just to keep the conversation alive. You allow conversations to end on a high note instead of stretching them until they die. You show interest, then disconnect and go back to your life. This leaves a psychological echo behind. Her mind starts replaying your interactions because you did not try to close her emotional distance in one move. You left space for her curiosity and imagination. In the middle phase, when there is some attraction already, strategic detachment means you gradually invite her to invest more. You respond to her energy, but you are not the engine of the interaction all the time. If she reaches out, you respond in a warm way. If she asks about your day, you share a piece and then redirect the energy back to her or to a shared moment. You hold eye contact without flinching, but you also know when to lean back and listen. You suggest plans that reflect your standards and lifestyle. If she says yes, you lead. If she is uncertain or constantly non-committal, you do not beg or negotiate your value down. You stay polite and you shift your focus to people and projects that respond to you with clarity. Strategic detachment becomes especially important when she pulls back or sends mixed signals. An attached man panics when he feels distance. He doubles his texts, tries to convince her, apologizes for things he did not do wrong, promises to change before she has even asked for it. His energy becomes heavy and emotionally expensive. A detached man reads signals, not fantasies. If her effort drops significantly over time, he notices it without spiraling. He does not chase what is moving away. He matches effort. If she reaches out again, he does not punish her, but he also does not erase the past. He allows the reconnecting to happen gradually, watching whether her actions become consistent. This emotional stability is attractive because it shows she is dealing with a man, not a boy lost in his emotions. All of this is amplified by how you manage your presence in the digital world. In modern dating, many men sabotage themselves online while believing they are doing nothing wrong. They like every picture, reply to every story, comment constantly, and design their posts to get a specific reaction from one woman. Then they wonder why their energy feels predictable and low value. Detachment changes your digital behavior. You do not use your social media as a spotlight begging for her attention. You use it as a subtle expression of your life. You post when you want, not when you feel anxious. You do not track whether she watched every story. You do not send constant reactions just to stay visible. If she engages, you respond. If she does not, you stay focused on your path. You refuse to become a digital fan in your own story. Underneath all of this, there is a deeper foundation, your relationship with discomfort. Attachment hates discomfort. It wants immediate certainty, constant reassurance, fast answers. Detachment is built where you are willing to feel uncomfortable without acting impulsively. It is built when you can feel the urge to text and choose to wait. It is built when you can feel the sting of a delayed reply and still stay composed. It is built when you can feel the fear of loss and continue living your standards anyway. This is where principles from Stoic philosophy become powerful. You recognize that you cannot control what she feels, what she thinks, or what she does. You only control your actions, your thoughts, your character. You learn to distinguish between what is yours and what is not. Her mood is not yours. Her phone habits are not yours. Your discipline, however, is yours. Your values are yours. Your direction is yours. When you consistently act from that place, something important begins to happen in her mind. Attraction is not only about how much she likes you right now. It is about the story her mind builds about you over time. If you are always available, always chasing, always trying to please, the story becomes boring. He will always be there. There is no urgency, no risk, no depth. When you are detached, the story becomes different. He is stable, but he is not mine by default. I have to show up if I want to keep his presence. That story pulls effort out of her. People invest in what they fear losing. When your energy is scattered and needy, no one fears losing you because you clearly fear losing them more. When your energy is anchored and detached, others sense that losing you would mean losing something rare. Detachment also sharpens your standards, and your standards are what actually make you attractive long-term. Without detachment, standards collapse at the first sign of attention. You say you want respect, but as soon as someone is physically attractive, you accept disrespect. You say you want honesty, but as soon as a woman makes you feel desired, you tolerate confusion and half-truths. Detached men do not. Detachment allows you to say no, even when your desire is high. You can want her and still walk away if she repeatedly crosses your boundaries or refuses to meet you halfway. That quiet strength hits much harder than any line or technique because it shows you are loyal to yourself first. And a man who is loyal to himself is a man a woman can trust emotionally. To make the woman you want come after you, you must stop trying to control her behavior and start mastering your own. That means shifting your focus from, how do I make her chase me, to how do I become the man whose energy naturally gets chased? It is a different question. The second one places responsibility on your growth. It asks for discipline, physical discipline, emotional discipline, mental discipline. It asks for purpose, something in your life that is bigger than getting a text back. It asks for alignment, your actions matching your words and your values. When these elements are in place, detachment is not an act. It is an inevitable side effect of a full life. So how do you start applying this in practical terms, from today, with the woman you want? First, stop making her the center of your internal universe. You can still like her, still want her, still be attracted, but you consciously choose not to organize your entire day around her. You reclaim your schedule. You go to the gym when you planned. You work on the project you said you would. You sleep when you need to sleep. You build your money, your skills, your body, your mind, as if she did not exist. That shift alone changes your vibe more than any phrase or tactic. Second, consciously reduce compulsive behaviors around her. The constant checking, the obsessive replaying, the imaginary conversations. Every time you catch yourself doing it, you pause and redirect that energy to something physical or productive. Do this repeatedly, and your brain will slowly understand that she is part of your life, not the owner of your attention. Third, align your communication with your new detachment. If she writes, you do not ignore her just to prove a point, but you also do not drop everything every time. You respond when it makes sense for your life, with presence and clarity. You stop sending long explanations, justifications, or emotional essays unless there is a real reason. You start using fewer words with more intention. You say what you mean once and let your actions back it up. Fourth, install and protect your standards even when your desire is high. If she cancels without respect, you do not instantly offer another plan. If she only messages when she is bored and disappears when you show intention, you pay attention to that pattern and reduce your effort accordingly. If she uses jealousy, games, or disrespect to control your emotions, you do not reward that behavior with more attention. You let your distance carry the message, "This does not meet my standard." Fifth, give attraction space to breathe. You resist the urge to accelerate everything. You stop trying to force chemistry in 1 week. You accept that attraction grows in the spaces between interactions, in the moments where she wonders what you are doing, in the seconds where she replays something you said. You do not try to fill those spaces with constant reminders that you exist. You trust that if there is a spark and you show up as a grounded man, the attraction will strengthen naturally. If you stay in this path, something interesting will happen over time. The woman you want will start to feel the difference between you and the average man. The average man collapses under pressure. He begs, he chases, he overshares. He apologizes just to keep peace. His attention feels cheap because it is available on demand. Your attention starts to feel different. It is kind but not needy. It is present but not obsessed. It is masculine in the sense that it has structure and direction. She feels that if she disrespects your time, she risks losing access to that presence. She feels that if she invests in you, there is a real man on the other side, not a boy chasing a fantasy. And here is the final paradox of detachment. When you genuinely become okay with any outcome, you often get the outcome you once tried so hard to force. When your happiness is not hanging on her decision, you become free. That freedom shows up in your eyes, in your posture, in your voice. She senses that you are choosing her, not begging for her. And choosing is attractive. You are no longer climbing a pedestal she never asked for. You are meeting her at eye level, from a place of self-respect. Detachment does not kill your desire. It purifies it. It removes the fear, the craving, the insecurity, and leaves behind something cleaner. I want you, but I do not need you to feel whole. I enjoy you, but I will not sacrifice my standards to keep you. I am willing to walk towards you, but I am equally willing to walk away if this connection demands that I betray myself. That sentence, lived through consistent action, is one of the most powerful attractors you will ever embody. So as this video ends, the real work begins. Do not just nod and go back to the same patterns. Look at the way you are showing up right now with the woman you want. Where are you chasing too much? Where are you abandoning your own standards? Where are you allowing obsession to replace presence? Start with one shift today. Reclaim part of your schedule. Cut one compulsive behavior. Send one message with calm clarity instead of fear. Small shifts in your energy compound over time. The goal is not to become a man who plays hard to get. The goal is to become a man whose life is so full, whose center is so strong, and whose standards are so clear that any woman who enters his orbit feels that if she wants to keep his presence, she must also show up. That is how detachment makes the woman you want come after you. Not through tricks, but through the undeniable gravity of a man who no longer negotiates his worth.